everyone, my name is Lisa and I'm the Viet vegan because I'm Viet and I'm vegan, and today we're making risotto, as Gordon Ramsay likes to yell on his shows. We've been watching a lot of Hell's Kitchen lately and we've been making a lot of risotto. My uncle gave me this like giant box of arborio rice, which actually was from USA because today's sponsor is USA Rice. Hata! So I've been working through this giant box of arborio rice, which I now have finally transferred to this. So today's recipe is like a clean out your fridge, everything but the kitchen sink kind of recipe. It's really interchangeable. You can just play with it. You can add whatever you have in your fridge to like make it delicious according to you. So this is not a highbrow recipe because while it is delicious, it is not fine dining, but it is a really great way to clean out your fridge. So today's recipe will be found on USA Rice's website, riceinfo.com. I'll leave a link down below. There's a lot of stuff online about how to make the perfect risotto, and like I'm not gonna guarantee or I'm not gonna claim that this is the perfect risotto. This is just basic risotto with fundamental flavors that I quite enjoy. So we're gonna turn this on to medium-high heat and we're gonna toast the rice. So this is 1 cup of arborio rice. Arborio is just like a variety of like short grain, kind of a starchy rice. You don't wanna wash this because you want that starch to kind of create that creaminess in the risotto. So we're gonna toast that. So you're just gonna add that to a dry pan, ideally a heavy bottom pan. Sometimes I cook in my cast iron pan, but honestly, I don't really feel like cleaning it. I mean, Eddie's gonna be cleaning it, but either way, I'm just gonna use this bigger pan so that there's more room to like move stuff around, you know what I'm saying? I basically just toast it until it starts getting browned, 3 to 4 minutes on the pan. And you basically just let it heat through, get toasty. It'll kind of like bring out that nuttiness, that natural nuttiness that's in rice. We're just gonna let it do its thing. So the rice has been really nicely toasted. We get some nice browning. You're gonna see a little bit of steam. The pan is gonna be very deceptively hot. So be careful when you're adding in the rest. So first we're gonna add in the onions and then we're gonna add in the butter, because if we add in the butter first, it's gonna start to spurt because it's pretty hot. Let's add our minced cooking onion. This is 1 onion. I like the sizzle. Good sound. Smells good already. So we're gonna add in about 2 tablespoons of vegan butter. All right, so you're just gonna let that cook through a little bit so the onions get kind of softened. So in the recipe that I posted on riceinfo.com, I only use carrot, but because this is like a clean out your fridge kind of recipe, I decided to also add in celery for the video. As long as you have like 2 cups of some sort of vegetable in with the rice, that's like all you need. It's a very versatile recipe. The onions are looking pretty nice. So they're starting to look a little translucent, which is when we're gonna start to add the rest of the vegetables. So we're gonna add the minced, finely diced celery. The thing with risotto is that you kind of want everything to be kind of the same size as the rice. You don't want anything too large. Grated carrots. So I used about 1 grated carrot and then 2 ribs of celery. In my original recipe, I just used 2 carrots. It don't matter, it's whatever you like. The idea is that you clean it out your fridge so you don't have sad vegetables in there. So you're just gonna cook this through until it releases a little bit more of the flavor. This is like a classic French cooking flavor profile, a mirepoix. Probably not very risotto traditional, but like I said, this is not a traditional recipe. This is just how I cook, okay? It's a good way to have like a full meal in one bowl with a bunch of vegetables and a bit of protein. I'll talk about protein in a second. That's just really easy. So we're gonna add in just a splash of water, just to simmer things down. And then we're gonna add 2 tablespoons of vegetable bouillon broth. You can also just use like vegetable broth instead of this, plus the water that I'm using, if that's what you've got. But I never have that. I just use this stuff, or mushroom broth powder. So you're just gonna stir that in to dissolve it a little bit. And once that's just kind of like mostly incorporated, we're gonna add in some water. The ratio I typically like to use is 1 cup of rice to 4 cups of water. So we're just gonna add some water, probably like a cup at a time. And then you're just gonna keep cooking it through until the rice absorbs the water. It'll take about like 5 minutes for the water to absorb. You want to keep on stirring it as it starts to look more dry so you don't burn any rice to the bottom of the pan, because then that will just not taste very good. I'm just gonna fast forward through this cooking part where I'm basically adding water, letting it cook through, adding water, letting it cook through. Roll the montage. All right, so the risotto is almost cooked through. We're gonna give it a little taste to make sure that it is indeed not chunky or crispy or whatever. Oh yeah. That's the right consistency. So it's cooked through, it's not completely mush, but we're gonna add in a couple other things to let it continue cooking a little bit. You want a little bit of liquid, not too much. I'm gonna add some shredded tofu here. So this is shredded smoked tofu. So it has kind of like a thicker texture than like a regular firm tofu. You can also use cooked lentils or chickpeas or beans, whatever you want. It's not a huge deal. I prefer like black lentils, or even red lentils are good, green lentils. Now we're gonna add in our smoked tofu for some protein. So I've just grated about half a block of tofu. We're gonna stir that in. And then we're also gonna stir in 2 tablespoons of lemon juice. This is about half a lemon juice. That's just gonna add a little tartness. And then we're gonna add some cheese. So this is vegan Parmesan cheese that I've grated. You can use like the follow your heart kind. You can use Daiya, just shredded mozzarella. It just adds a little bit of creaminess to this that I really like, and also salt. So we're just gonna add in this. I found this cheese at like, they have like a vegan cheese at the deli counter at Fortino's, and it's from Italy. Totally vegan. It's wild. Really good and really salty. Just adding a bit of that cheese and adding the lemon juice really, like, I don't know what it is, but it just thickens this all up, and it just makes it look so creamy and luscious and delicious. I cannot wait to eat it. So I'm just gonna give it a little taste for seasoning. Yum, 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 yum. That is very good. So because the Parmesan that I'm using has a lot of salt in it, I'm not gonna season it with any more salt, but you can add more salt and pepper if you like. I'm gonna add a lot of pepper to my bowl, but Eddie doesn't like pepper, so just me. All right, so let's give it a taste. I added a bunch of pepper because pepper is delicious. I always love adding like a lot of pepper stuff. Ooh. Oh, that is like so warm and comforting. Yum. So I eat this as a whole meal traditionally in like fine dining risottos, like an appetizer. If you add lentils or tofu, it just adds like a little bit of protein to this so that it makes it like a full balanced meal. Lots of veggies, lots of rice, lots of deliciousness. It's just a good time. So I just want to say a big thank you to USA Rice for giving me the opportunity to share this recipe with you guys, because this is something I make all the time, but I just never think to like share it with you because it always changes each time. But I figure if I have like a sort of basic formula of like 2 cups of some sort of grated vegetable to put in here, you guys can just run with it. So a little onion, carrot, celery in this case. We can also add like grated beets or pureed spinach, peas, asparagus. Oh, the possibilities are literally endless. It's so good. Yeah, definitely check out USA Rice. I'll leave the link to the recipe down below, and you can also learn about like the different things that they do that are like great for the environment, why you should eat rice, why you should buy specifically USA Rice. I think my favorite fact that I learned from working with USA Rice is that because of the way that they grow rice, it's just like it's like a flooded rice field, right? Waterfowl will use that land as their natural habitat, which is so cool because otherwise, so if like you replaced the rice fields with other habitats specifically for the waterfowl, that would cost $3.3 billion. But instead, rice farmers manage and pay for the winter flooding of the fields, which is where a lot of the waterfowl who like migrate down during the winter from like up north, they provide like 35% of like the food for those waterfowl, which is so cool. So anyway, like I said, I'll leave the link to the recipe down below if you guys want to make it yourself. Let me know what your favorite risotto combos are. What do you like to add into your risotto? Ooh, mushroom would be good too. I almost never have mushrooms though because Eddie doesn't like mushrooms. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys have a delicious day. Bye-bye.